Hello everyone and welcome back to the Synergy Sanctum. My name is Justin. Thank you so much for stopping by. Here at the Synergy Sanctum, we specialize in all things related to Magic the Gathering, with a specific focus on deck building. So I aim to show you very quick deck techs that'll show you all of the cards in the deck and how they work together to ultimately achieve the goals of that deck. If you're not already, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate that. And we also have a sister channel now, so head on over to Commander Coliseum and check out their content as well. And for today's deck tech, we have Imodane, the Pyrohammer. Imodane is a mono red EDH burn commander, and that is what we are doing with this deck. She says anytime that you are going to have an instant or sorcery that targets only a single creature, deal damage to that creature. Imodane deals that much damage to each opponent. So if she's out and you lightning bolt someone, everybody's taking a bolt to the face. If she's out and you cast a flame slash, do 4 damage to a creature, everybody's taking 4 damage. This deck gets out of hand really quickly, and it is super fun to play. It does really have a lot of control as well, because you are burning these creatures out in order to benefit off of Imodane's triggered ability. So TCG market value of this mono red deck is $187 to $244. Our land count is 30 because we are running very low to the ground with very single or double mana burn spells. So 23 of those are mountains and 7 of those are non-basics. So let's get into this. How are we going to really break Imodane today? Well, we are going to burn, baby, burn. So we are running all of the cards here that can burn a creature or get added value off of this burn happening, kind of like replacement effects for Imodane. So Volcanic Spite and Fire Prophecy are going to do a bolt, but they're also going to get you a draw. Weight of Spires is doing it based off of non-basic lands that player controls. Trial of Agony is getting you a twofer. You can choose 2 creatures, and it's going to burn each of them for 5, which is then 10 damage from Imodane. Torbran's adding 2 damage to each spell or attack from a red creature. Oger is doing the same, but it's making it equal to its power. So if you're going to play something that's less than 4, Oger is making sure that's doing 4. Spitting Earth is doing it based off of the mountains you have. Same with Spite of Mogus, but Spite of Mogus is based off of instant and sorceries. Seismic Strike is mountains. We've got Crushing Pain and Scorching Shot doing 5 and 6 damage respectively. And then Shivan Meteor's so good. You play that for 3 and everyone knows there's big scary meteors coming in. And you play Imodane the turn before that upkeep's going to happen and something's going to take 13 damage. And then everybody's taking 13 damage. So good. And then even more burn in the deck. So there's Flame Slash, like I mentioned earlier, doing 4 to a creature. Same with Obliterating Bolt. We've got Lightning Bolt doing 3. Meteor Swarm doesn't seem that good, but we're only going to choose a single target. It's going to do 8, so then that's 8 to everybody. Lightning Axe is doing 5 to a creature. Nahiri's Warcrafting doing 5 as well. Blasphemous Act and Delayed Blast Fireball are our board wipes here. Feign Flames, Lava Coil, they're all doing additional damage. Mizian Mortars is versatile because it can be that single damage, but if Imodane's not out or we're getting kind of screwed over, it can be a pseudo board wipe as well, 4 or less. And then we're going to be copying all of these burn spells. So we want to kind of have value on either recurring these spells or copying them on the turn that they happen. Just because we are in mono red, we're going to run out of gas pretty quickly here. So Perforos is doubling damage. Electro Dominance is getting you an extra one out of your hand based on how much you pay in for X. Impact Resonance is so good in this deck. So it deals X damage divided as you choose them on any number of target creatures, where X is the greatest amount of damage dealt by a source to a permanent or player this turn. What the F? This is so good in Imodane. Just picture that meteor hitting somebody for 13 damage. Imodane does 39, and then Impact Resonance does 39 again to a single creature, which is 39 to every opponent. It's just like a game ender here. And speaking of game enders, I really want to showcase Radiate because it is so broken in this deck and really spell slinger decks in general. So any instant or sorcery spell that you're casting that targets a single permanent or player. For each other permanent or player that spell could target, you put a copy of the spell on the stack, and then each copy is targeting a different one of those. So Imodane doesn't care about the cast, she cares about your instant and sorceries targeting. So Radiate would take something like a lightning bolt and duplicate it for every single creature that's out, which then duplicates the damage that Imodane is doing to everybody. It's just so broken in this deck. And then the expected mono red spells that copy things like Reverberate, Flare of Duplication, Radiant Performers, a creature that's doing it, Display of Power. And then we've got Arcane Bombardment, which is really awesome. So anytime you cast your first instant or sorcery spell, you get to exile one from your graveyard, and then you get to cast copies of everyone that you exiled from the graveyard with Arcane Bombardment. Really good late game here. And then we've got those Spell Slinger Payoffs. We're going to be casting a lot of burn spells. We want to benefit off of that. So we've got all of the little guys that do damage off of non-creature or instant or sorcery casts, varying from 1 to 2 damage. And then we also got Torolf to spread it around. If we're doing something big like the Meteor, we can keep duplicating that damage. And then Imodane is getting multiple triggers off of that. Spiteful Banditry is here because creatures are going to be dying, and when they do, you're going to be making treasures. Same with Stormkill and Arnis. And then good stuff in the deck. So Repercussion's kind of a doubler here. So Imodane's already kind of doing a repercussion effect by having the burn do damage to the controller, but Repercussion's going to do that as well. We've got Blood Moon to shut down their board states. Tersa Light Shatter from the new Tarkir set is getting us recursion off of attacks. And then Heartless Hidetsugu is getting everybody to half their life. So if he gets out early and you half their life, it's going to make the game end that much sooner with Imodane. And then here's the life gain in the deck. So we're going to put any one of these on Imodane. And then something like that Meteor hitting everybody for 13 is gaining you 39 life. This deck is better at gaining life than a mono white deck, I'm telling you. So Basilisk Collar giving it Death Touch and Lifelink. Shadow Spear is giving Lifelink and Trample. And then Witch's Clinic is giving Lifelink because she's the commander. And then here's our draw on the deck. So lots of draw. The expected red cards that draw at the cost of discarding. We've got Big Score and Unexpected Windfall giving us treasures, and then Gambles there to get us the specific burn spell we might want or need. Or maybe we want a copy spell to duplicate the damage as well. And then the mana in the deck, lots of mana here, lots of ways of discounting spells. So Runaway Steamkin's going to do work because we're going to be casting these single or double burn spells, and he's going to keep getting bigger. We remove those 3 counters for mana. We've got Jessica's Will to get both. Ideally, we want to cast this when Imodane's out to get the red mana as well as the exile. So hopefully we exile 3 burn spells and then immediately play them and do a ton of damage. Ruby Medallion and Fire Crystal are discounting spells. Barb Flare Gremlin's really interesting because when a player taps a land for mana, if it is tapped, that player adds additional mana, and then that land is dealing a damage to that player. So kind of like a worse mana flare here. And then Sword of the Animus to get land and ramp, and Neheb the Eternal is giving us red for each life opponent's lost. So a single burn spell is going to get you a ton of red if Neheb is out. So good in this deck.
And with that, our show has come to an end. Thank you so much for watching our video, and if you enjoyed that video, feel free to share it out with any friends who might find value in it as well. Thank you so much for stopping by. We hope to see you again soon. Have a good one.